Hey, what's up? So Capcom dropped the game's first big update, the Day 1 patch, and if you've grabbed the game or are waiting for download windows to clear, this is the one you want to know about. First, the official angle. The patch was pushed as the Day 1 update, and it's meant to smooth over a few of the rough edges people noticed in early hands-on coverage. Performance hiccups and odd graphical behavior were the most frequently mentioned. And the big platform announcements all say, apply the patch, without listing an itemized changelog. That lack of a full public breakdown from the publisher means we have to lean on player reports and indie coverage for the specifics. Now, on to the meat of what players are talking about. Several threads and mod pages are buzzing about modding support and how the update interacts with common mod tools. Folks running the Reframework mod, which a lot of people use for quality of life tweaks, ultra-wide support, and some crash fixes, have reported that the official update changed enough under the hood that some older framework builds or certain injectors are unstable or outright crash the game. Mod maintainers are pushing updates to restabilize things, but the short version is, if you use mods, expect to do a bit of housekeeping. Some people are hitting crashes until their mod tools are refreshed. And speaking of crashes and activation quirks, a notable chunk of PC players are reporting DRM and activation behavior that wasn't universally experienced before launch. Some players find they need a Steam connection or to let the game validate online the first time it runs, and there are tutorials and discussion threads talking about how to handle offline activation workflows and anti-tamper interactions. I'm not saying the game is permanently online only, but multiple community threads popped up explaining how people worked around or diagnosed "you are offline" type errors. That's worth knowing if you plan to play in a no-internet environment. On the graphics side, players have been the first to ping out very specific visual oddities in a few areas, especially tighter indoor rooms where a lot of bodies or dynamic gore render at once. People reported black artifacting or odd pop-in when zombies drop, and there are reports that those particular glitchy scenes look noticeably better after the patch for some players. That said, artifacting and ray tracing noise remain a topic of conversation. Path tracing and subsurface scattering options can produce weird white or noisy spots for some GPU and driver combinations, and several people found toggling certain ray tracing presets or disabling subsurface scattering helped more than anything else until individual driver or game updates land. So you may see the drainage room visual edge cases treated by the update, but not every ray trace noise problem is gone for everyone yet. There are a handful of other very specific problems floating around the community that are either reported fixed by folks after updating or are still up in the air. Reports include the W870 Police shotgun having a visual glitch after changing its stock, the game sometimes crashing when players tweak upscaling or advanced upscaler settings on PC, framerate drops when interacting with certain objects, or rapidly opening and closing item chests, and odd white spots or reconstruction artifacts at very high ray tracing settings. Some players say the Day 1 patch cleared a subset of those issues for them. Others still see the behavior and are waiting on driver updates, mod tool updates, or a follow-up official patch. I'd classify these as community-observed, partially verified right now, rather than full publisher-backed fixes. One more practical thing I've seen repeated, the Day 1 file can be large on some platforms, which is why several users noticed big downloads before the game even boots. That size suggests the patch included more than just a tiny config tweak, even if Capcom hasn't posted a neat list of every line they changed. Between performance tuning, anti-tamper interaction points, and some graphical asset adjustments, that would line up with why the Day 1 package isn't tiny. To wrap this up in plain terms, the Day 1 patch is live and meant to stabilize and polish a few things. Performance optimizations and fixes for some graphical glitches seem to be the primary goals. Modding tools and DRM interactions are in a bit of flux, so mod users should watch for updated reframework builds, and several PC-specific oddities remain community-reported and may need drivers or further patches to clear up completely. Because Capcom hasn't posted a complete line-by-line changelog yet, a mix of official notices and community reports is the best picture we have right now, and it's shifting fast as modders and drivers update. That's the rundown. Keep an eye on the official publisher pages for a formal patch note drop if you want the verbatim list, and check the mod repositories and community threads if you rely on mods or want the latest user-tested workarounds.